بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
How you doing, bro?
How you doing?
I was hoping you'd come back, man. Your favorite, you said?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings now, man.
Who?
Muhammad Hijab's gonna be sad because you just.
Is it? Shake? What? I only know a couple shakes. But yeah,
Nice.
They're my favorite. They're my favorite.
Thank you, I appreciate that,
No,
man.
get closer, man. Just don't
Get closer, yeah. How you doing, bro?
As long as you get us both in. Like right there.
Stop playing games, man.
Huh?
Take your hats. Become a Muslim.
Oh, it's okay, man. We don't pressure anybody, bro. Take it easy.
We haven't gotten through any actual arguments. You guys standing in the
Gotcha. Yeah, it's somewhere around.
Right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we got the track right here.
Sure, sure.
Basically, just so you know, this is kind of what I'm interested in. Not the scientific issue in particular,
Okay.
but when positions give an argument for why they're true.
I
Because
gotcha.
there aren't a lot of actual religions.
let me-
There aren't a lot of religions that say, here's how you can know that this is true, right?
Okay.
Christianity says, Old Testament prophecies and resurrection. Islam has a bunch of arguments.
Okay.
Mormonism says a couple of things like, you feel the burning within your heart or something like that.
The heartburn?
If you pray sincerely to know that it's true.
Okay.
Atheism will offer a couple arguments like the problem of evil and stuff like that.
You really think
Other than
that's a strong argument?
No, I didn't say
I
I
don't
didn't say any of this. is
So
strong
let me
argument.
I'd like to ask you because you're well read on a lot of this stuff. So my neighbors are Mormon. We already talked to them many a times, right? So do you believe that Mormons are Christian? First off,
No, but I don't study it, so I don't really
gotcha.
comment on anything.
That's
that I don't-
interesting.
that I don't.
What about Jehovah's Witnesses?
I would say no.
Not Christian.
I don't. Those are considered cults. I don't really deal with. I don't really
So
study
they're off the
cults.
manhaj. They're off the methodology, right?
I would say yeah, because they reject some fundamental doctrines. Basically,
Gotcha.
you can adhere to similar in Islam. You can adhere to certain core
Okay.
doctrines. You can disagree on lots of stuff, but not on the essentials.
All right. So I have a quick question for you before we
Say
start.
it again.
Oh, I know. Relax, bro. But last time you came, you had brought Ibn Kathir and stuff, and I actually went home and looked up. You had just mentioned a part. Actually, that wasn't even Ibn Kathir's opinion, but we'll get into that some other time because you don't have your book and I don't have mine. But I do have a question. So, I got a book that you are much more familiar with than I am, right?
MacArthur Study Bible.
MacArthur.
No,
You're not familiar with it?
I've heard of it. I don't. Yeah, and I have a copy of the MacArthur Study.
You
Bible,
have it?
But it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. Not
So I was trying to.
Wait, are you actually? I'm sitting here listening.
I know, bro. Look, you asked your questions last time. I answered. I had a question waiting for you
Yeah, but last
from
time
the
when I-
last
when I
conversation.
When I came up to
Yeah.
you last time, I said I have a question about this. Then I wanted to get one out of the way quick.
Okay, so,
And then it took us forever.
but last time you brought a different pamphlet.
No, I
Right?
said when I came,
Yeah.
I said I have a question about this one.
Okay.
And then I said, but here's a quick question.
All right, but-
and I asked a quick question about
so-
that. And then we spent the entire time on that.
So you brought up a different question, right? You brought it up. I didn't bring up that pamphlet last time, right?
Yeah, this is.
But I have a question related to that one. So we got to finish one before we jump because you want to jump away from it.
Yeah, but this is why I came.
I
This is a
appreciate
dawah
that.
booth, right?
No, this is
You're
a dawah
producing-
booth.
You're handing out tracts.
Yes.
You're handing out tracts.
Yes.
I had some questions. I don't even really want to criticize terribly. I just want to clarify
Understand.
what the Quran is saying
Sure.
about these scientific issues.
No
because
problem.
Some of the times it doesn't sound like that's what the Quran is saying to me.
Gotcha.
But you know the Arabic, and so you can break it down.
No problem. So
Can we hold off on that till
let me show you. So David, you came out last time and you brought up a question from a pamphlet, right? And when you open up a question, then when I have a question for you, I would appreciate if we have a conversation, right? You can't be like, okay, I'm going to bring up this stuff, but if you have a question, we're not going to address it until I'm done with all of mine. So this is related to the same one you brought up about scholars and their explanation, and you said, especially because you know our timing, and when I had to go, you were having your personal conversation with your camera talking about, a Christian can just pick up a study and accept what's in there and so on, but a Muslim, he's trying to throw scholars under the bus, and you guys should know, I wasn't throwing Ibn Kathir under the bus. I love Ibn Kathir. You didn't even understand what Ibn Kathir, because I was telling you, it was already time for me. This is not my, see, this is why we got to clarify this, right? Because this is not my job. This is your job, it's not my job. I don't get paid, I don't have a Patreon, I don't have supporters that pay me.
You got those Hamas bucks coming in though, right?
There what?
You got those Hamas bucks
I
coming
have
in, right?
no money coming from Hamas.
No Hamas bucks.
No Hamas bucks. Yeah. I don't even agree with Hamas's methodology, just to be clear, right? But you do have a Patreon account that pays your bills, right?
By the way, I said as we were walking over here, I said, hey, we're going to have some questions about this. We can do the dawah, but I think he's going to sidetrack onto a bunch of other issues before we ever get here.
I'm not. I'm going to make sure that this is a conversation, not a trial, right? So if you have questions, great. But since you've already been here and I've answered question, when I have a question, we're gonna get to it too.
Literally
Okay?
the first time I stepped up,
Sure.
I walked out, I grabbed this track.
Yeah.
And I said, you weren't even there that day. Because I came on a Saturday, you come on
Gotcha.
Sundays.
Sure.
You're on a Saturday, and I said, hey, if I got a couple questions about these, can I come back? They said, yeah.
Of course.
So
Right.
then I came back last time I had questions about this. We ended up talking about the other one, because I thought it would take like 5 minutes, and it took like 2 hours.
Sure. So let me just respond to that now. You came, is this your third time now, right? Or fourth time? If you take the Saturday, it's your fourth time, right?
Third time. No, it's the Saturday. Yeah, we just grabbed some tracks. So that
I know the 3-1 counting thing throws you off sometimes, but let's just stick with this, all right? So let's see, you came on a Saturday, I wasn't here, you took stuff. You came back the next Sunday, you didn't bring this up, you brought up other stuff, and I answered you.
When I walked up to you, I said I got a question about this. I was about to make
on Saturday? On the Sunday that you came the first time? No, you didn't. You and Anthony walked up.
That was Anthony. Anthony was talking.
You weren't with Anthony?
I wasn't arguing.
Okay, but
Matter of fact, we went with your topic that time. You wanted to talk about that.
Right. But you guys came, you opened up a subject, we had a conversation, you came back again, you brought up a track and a question, and I took it. And I will take this today, no problem. But what you're doing is, when I have a question for you, you're trying to hide from it. So I'm saying, hey, we'll have this balanced conversation.
Actually, this is
okay?
very different. This is very different.
Gotcha.
This is you're handing out material.
Sure.
Saying this is how we know Islam is true.
Sure.
You're the one who told me.
Yeah.
If I have questions or concerns
Please come
or
on
something
down.
doesn't make sense,
Sure.
ask a scholar.
Yep.
So I'm sitting here taking the materials you're handing out.
Great.
Asking a scholar,
Sure.
which is what you told me to do. And
Good.
as soon as I come ready to ask a scholar,
Right.
I have a question for you
Yep.
on something
The
that we weren't talking about.
The reason is because you're not listening to what Steven the question is, afraid of it maybe, but this is related.
No.
Okay.
Concerned about not getting to this.
I have told
About the sidetrack.
you we will get to this today, inshallah. Okay?
Well, why can't, if we're getting to this, why can't we do this?
Because
Why can't
this
we
is
do this
related
first
to
and do
the earlier conversation. You're not even listening to what the question is, and I don't want to jump from one conversation to the next without finishing a conversation.
that? Okay, can we set a time limit on this?
Sure.
Do it rapid fire.
Let's do half an hour.
No, half an hour.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. 10
Okay,
minutes.
10 minutes. So last time you said that a Christian, what? I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
All right. So last time you said that a Christian could just pick up a study book and then he could take it and he wouldn't have to go to a living scholar or ask for any other explanations. So I actually have a MacArthur Study Bible, and I was looking about slavery, and I was looking at the issue of copyist errors. And the MacArthur Bible tells us that there are copyist errors in the Bible, right? The MacArthur Bible tells us that at a time God allowed slaves to be beaten. So would you agree that that's correct? That do you think God allowed that you can beat a slave and as long as they live a day, it's okay, that's their property?
That passage isn't, if you're talking about the verse you brought up last time,
Right.
that verse isn't actually about what you think it is.
It's not about slave beating?
That verse is about punishing for capital, that verse is about judging intent for capital punishment,
Interesting.
right?
Is it?
Yes.
So let's bring it up. This is to do with capital punishment or disciplining your slave.
No, this is Leviticus.
It is not Leviticus. David Wood. It's Exodus. Okay?
Okay.
You with me? Or you? See, this
go
is why you didn't want me to ask the question, right? This is why. This is why. All right. Exodus 21, 2021. Read the verse for us, Mr. Wood.
2021.
Yeah. Read it out loud.
Notwithstanding, if he remains alive a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his property.
Keep going.
If men fight,
Okay, I'm sorry. 20 and 21. You didn't read the
and
first
if a
verse.
man beats his male or female servant with a rod so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Notwithstanding, if he remains alive a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his property.
So you, David, would believe that God, Jesus, allowed that if a person beats their slave, and as long as his beating is severe enough that he dies a day later, you cannot punish the man because a human being is another human's property that he can kill, just letting him live a day.
A couple issues.
Go ahead.
Couple issues.
Uh-huh.
One, the position of Christians, according to the New Testament, is that that God did allow things in the past that He didn't approve of, they didn't think are good, but because of the hardness of our hearts, He allowed us to do them. Right?
Wow, this is amazing. Can you say
It's
that?
not. It's basic.
This is
Jesus is asked about divorce. Can you divorce your wife for any reason? He said, and they asked, well, in the law of Moses, you're allowed to give your wife a notice of divorce, and you can just divorce her. And
Gotcha.
Jesus said, God allowed you to do that because of the hardness of your hearts, but that's not what He wants. He doesn't want.
Gotcha.
He doesn't want that situation. So that's one. As far as this is a series of commands that are talking about capital punishment, which we also have now, right? We have capital punishment. Do you guys have that in California still?
No, I don't think so. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Certain states have capital punishment.
Texas does.
Right? Certain states have capital punishment, meaning if you commit capital murder, that's a death penalty. But there are lesser versions. There's second-degree murder, there's manslaughter, and things like that. What this is talking about, a man kills his slave, a man beats his slave, right?
Male or female?
They're talking about the presumption of intent. Intent, right?
What's the intent here?
That's what they're talking about, right? They're going to presume, for this case of capital punishment, whether you sentence a man to death for murder, if you beat your slave and you just beat him to death.
Yeah, like this.
Just beat him to death. He wasn't beaten to death.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's worse than this then.
So that would not be capital punishment. They would
Right.
say,
So beating worse than this because it beat him to death the next day.
If you beat him to death,
Right.
if you beat him to death,
Right.
they're going to presume that your intent was to murder him.
Where's that in the Bible?
It's right there. This is
Where? I don't see that anywhere there. You're making this up, David. You're making this up. You see this? You guys see this? He comes and talks about the Quran.
We're about to
No.
Where does Allah say that?
Right?
Not
Yes,
your
of course.
interpretation.
Sure.
Where does He say that?
Sure. Listen. When we go to the Quran, we go to the scholars of Islam, we go to Hadith. We go to all of that, no problem. But last time when I was telling you, the scholarly opinion is not a fact in itself. You have to look at the evidences. You told me I'm throwing scholars under the bus. Today you're making up verses from the Bible with no contextual evidence.
No, now I'm telling
Go ahead.
you what
So where's
scholars who understand,
where's the
interpret the Jewish
evidence?
law,
Where's the evidence of what you're saying?
This is not my position. I am not.
This is not the Bible. Not your position. The Bible's not his position.
Look at laughing here, right?
Hey, don't make fun of people, okay? If somebody wants to laugh, it's up to them.
Right?
Yeah.
They're handing out materials.
Again, you see, he can't answer it. He can't answer the Bible, so he wants to switch.
I'm trying to
David
answer.
would.
I'm trying to answer.
Okay, I'm listening. Go
There are a
ahead.
series of commands.
Okay.
I'll just.
No, talk about this one. This particular
I'm
event.
trying
Don't try to
I'm
switch
trying
here.
to.
Go
I'm
ahead.
trying to.
Okay.
So, if you beat your slave to death,
Yes.
all right, they're going to presume that that's murder.
Okay.
Capital punishment.
Okay.
If you beat him and he gets up and walks around,
And dies later.
The presumption would be
Wow.
that you weren't trying to kill him.
Okay.
Right? No.
Okay, I'm listening.
And when it says property there, it actually says your silver. So what that passage is saying is,
It says your silver.
slaves are valuable.
It says your property.
Yeah, in this translation, in the actual Hebrew, it says
So-
it's your silver.
So that's
What
interesting.
that means is, if you paid money for a slave, you bought your slave is part of your wealth.
Wow.
I don't know why you're saying wow.
That's shocking to me.
Muhammad had all kinds of slaves.
Did he buy
Black
slaves?
slaves.
Did he buy slaves?
Did he buy
or were
slaves?
they through war? Were they prisoners of war?
So it's okay to have slaves through war.
So listen, when you take a person out of war,
Muslims aren't allowed to buy.
Can I
They
finish?
weren't allowed to buy slaves.
Can I finish?
So if we look and we see Muhammad's companions buying slaves, you're in trouble.
Can I finish?
Sure. Go ahead.
So this thing, okay. So in Islam, you cannot take a free man and enslave him. Do you understand? It is a hadith, since you like to learn about hadith, where Allah says, hadith Qudsi, that the one who enslaves a free man, I will be his plaintiff on the day of judgment. We don't have the right to enslave people. Hadith. Right, Dave? You paying attention? Are you all right?
So Muhammad had
wait,
slaves.
can
He
I
had on Joshua,
can
he
I
had-
finish?
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Right? Now, if somebody's captured through war, meaning they are a war captive, like for example, if you go to war with another country and you find people fighting you and you take them. Now, these are not considered slaves in the sense that you went to Africa and just picked up regular people and made them enslaved, right? These are people that were trying to kill you and you're taken into a captured state out of war. In Islam, in Islam, you cannot have slavery in the sense of the Western word where you just take a free person, you go to Africa or you go to another continent, you just kidnap them, okay? Neither did the Prophet ﷺ nor the Sahaba.
Wait,
the
so when they attacked Khaybar,
Right,
attack Khaybar,
right.
slaughter a bunch of people, and
Sure.
take a bunch of slaves.
Sure. Khaybar was a war?
They attacked them.
No.
Yeah, they were. They're walking out to
You
the,
poor guy.
Walking out to
You
the fields.
poor guy.
They're walking out to the fields.
Listen,
and Muhammad and his
what
companions
happened in
swooped down
Khaybar? What was the context?
The context was the Jews are sitting there minding their own business. They're going out to the field.
So the agreement that is not right. No, you don't know the context at all. I'm shocked that David Wood is so ignorant of what happened. I'm really sorry. But you read the wrong things. You go online, you just read Islamophobe websites. You don't read books. That's the problem. Listen, I have a whole series on this. If you have the time, watch it so you can know. In Khaybar, there was a contract. Did you know this? No, you didn't know this. He didn't know this.
What's the source?
Ibn Kathir, Bidaya wa Nihaya, At-Tabari, Ibn Sa'ad, any book, Al-Maghazi, Ibn Ishaq, pick up any book. Listen,
What's the contract?
right? There was a contract with the Jews of Medina, and this is when Rasulullah went to Medina. Everybody, kids know this, right? When you go there, if somebody from the outside would attack, you would not support them. We would defend Medina together, okay? Banu Qunayza, you know Banu Qunayza?
That's what the Jews of Medina.
Yes, Khaybar wasn't.
Was that a treaty with Khaybar?
You didn't know Khaybar in the context of Medina.
No, Khaybar's a different area. You think Khaybar's Medina?
Khaybar was under the precincts of Medina. You don't know where Khaybar is at?
So there's no.
Have you been to Khaybar?
They're under the same.
Have you been there?
No.
I have.
Okay.
This guy's never even been there. Listen.
They visit the site.
Yes, of
the
course.
massacre at Khaybar.
Oh, listen, I didn't visit the site of a massacre of Khaybar. I visited Medina and went on a historic trip. I looked at Badr, I looked at Uhud, I looked at Khaybar, I looked at all these places to know the history so I don't make a fool out of myself by saying that Khaybar was not under the Treaty of Medina.
The Jews of Khaybar agreed to the Treaty of Medina.
Yes.
Okay.
You know who? I just gave you four sources already.
It, but where?
Bidaya wa Nihaya, look it up. You know Bidaya wa Nihaya?
No.
You don't know Bidaya wa Nihaya. See, but this is the problem. You act like you know about Islam, but you know. No.
I got
Look,
Tabari.
it's
I
Sahih.
got Ibn Sa'd.
Okay,
So tell me where in there, and if it's not there, what in the world?
is Sahih Sitta a book of history? And by the way, there's no such thing as Sahih Sitta, it's Kutub al-Sitta, because not all of them are Sahih, only 2 of them are Sahih. Anyway, that's
it's called Sahih Sitta, right?
it shouldn't be, that's a
Okay,
mistake.
that's fine.
So that wasn't even for you, you're not at that level. Huh?
Are we over 10 minutes yet?
We are over 10 minutes, but you haven't answered. So the question that I want to know, because you try to jump to Khaybar, and just to clarify your additional point, Khaybar, Banu Qanuza', Banu Nadir, Banu Qunayza, all of them, Qanuqa, and all of them had treaties not to help the outside invading forces. Because the people of Khaybar and Banu Qanuqa and others betrayed the treaty and sent weapons and fighters to fight against the Muslims, this is why there was an attack on Khaybar. And since you didn't know that, it tells me...
the treaty.
Yes.
And Muslims did nothing to violate the treaty.
No. Look it up. I'm surprised you don't know this already. Listen, I'll tell you what. Whoa, man, I just gave it to you like 3 times. You want to write it down, bro?
I know
Your memory is leaking.
I know you say that, but like where?
What do you mean? Like, I don't know the page number offhand, but get it. Okay, I'll tell you what. Listen. I'll do you one better. If you give me your number, and I won't give it to anybody, just like I haven't with Sam, I'll send you a link, or if you want to look it up yourself, on Majdaribad's site, we have a whole video that gives you each book, each reference, each page on what happened, and you can educate yourself, and then you won't look like a fool
So just to be clear,
yeah,
your position is yes, Muhammad and his companions had slaves,
yes,
but they didn't just run around taking free
Right.
people. They fought them, then took them.
they took them as captives of war. Yes,
They took them as captives of war, then
yes,
slaves.
yes, and then hold on, and then there are rules and regulations. One of them, you cannot beat your slave like this. You cannot kill your slave. If you kill your slave in Islam, even if he's a war captive,
beat your slave?
listen. Let me speak, bro. You're right. If you kill your war captive, you will be held accountable. You can't just kill them without This is not your property. This not. You can't just kill anybody you want. I am in shock, to be honest with you,
You can't
that
kill
David.
your slave in the Bible either.
Okay, so here,
That's a death
so this is the question, right? If this person comes and I beat him such a beating that he goes to the ER, he lives a day, and then from my beating he dies. Did I kill him or not? It's over, bro. It's over. Like Ahmad Hijab said, it's over, bro. You know it's over. You know it's over, right?
Listening. This is
Answer my question. If this guy gets beat, it's very simple, right? I beat him. He lives a day in the ER.
If you go to trial, in the United States of America,
yes.
Right? If you beat this man,
yeah, and from my beating,
around for a couple days,
no, he goes to the ER.
Is manslaughter.
Where does it say walking around?
He goes to the ER.
You are lying, bro. Come on, listen, look. It does not say walking. He just lives a day or two.
Okay.
It does not. You're making verses up. He goes to the ER, and he dies from my beating.
Dies from your beating.
That is murder in America.
No.
Oh, you don't know the law.
No, they're going to judge your intent.
Okay.
If we're out there fighting,
okay.
You're fighting, and I just
No. This is not a fight. This is not a fight. It's your slave. You take a rod, male or female, and you beat them, and they live a day. So if I'm beating this man, and from my beating he goes to the ER and he just lives a day, then you're going to say that that's not. I didn't murder him.
They're going to look at your intent.
What is? Look, listen.
Do you know that there is a crime called manslaughter? That's where you kill someone.
You know what manslaughter
but
is?
you weren't intending to murder him.
Manslaughter is not when you take a rod and you beat somebody so bad that they die. See, you're making this up now. You know. Okay. Let me ask David Wood. Let me ask you simple question.
Hit you with a bat,
right?
But I'm just trying to hit you with a bat. I'm just trying to beat you.
Let's say you
die.
Okay.
That's not murder. That's manslaughter.
Listen. When you took that hammer and beat your dad, if he had died a day later, would they have charged you for murder or not?
They would have judged my intent.
You took a hammer to your father's head. Of course it does, but listen. Look, you're just trying to avoid it, and you know you're caught. Like, this is a sad thing. Listen, when you took your dad and you beat him with a hammer, right? Is that what happened? Listen, answer my question. That's what happened, right?
Yeah.
If your dad had died, and I'm glad he didn't, and I'm sure you are too, right? Let's say they took him to the ER, they put him on life support, but a day later he died. You took a rod, like in the Bible, and you beat this man, right? A hammer, okay, right? So would they not put you in trial for murder?
They could.
They could now. Now they could. No more manslaughter now. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. They would look at the intent. If they're judging on intent, they say, wait, hammer to the head looks like the intent was to kill him, right?
Exactly.
If I'm hitting you with a rod, you disobey me.
A beating so bad that you die a day later from it.
Yeah. What they're saying is that's something different from capital murder, because, and this is where, when it says he is your silver, they're talking about presumption. They don't want to sentence someone to death who wasn't actually guilty of something worthy of death, right? So trying to beat your slave and he dies.
Beating your slave. Okay, look, bro.
Yes, we agree that beating your slave is bad. We're saying,
but it's in the Bible.
To kill.
Listen. Listen. No, see, now you want to jump because you know you're caught, right?
No,
listen. Let me ask your cameraman, right? Let me ask you a question, right? Just ask a simple question. No, you know what? Why not? Okay, Mark, let me ask you, because unless you want to be in the conversation, Mr. Cameraman, it's a free country. You want me to ask you, sir? Huh? What?
It doesn't pick up. In fact, if you want an answer, you should come over here. This is shotgun.
I'm asking your cameraman, as an African-American man, I just want to ask you this question. When David Wood is saying that if a person has a slave, that's his property, and if he beats him so bad with a rod, male or female, that he lives one day, he should not be judged because that's his property. Do you agree?
That he won't be judged.
Oh, wow.
He won't be judged for capital
Where does it say that? You're making that up. Where does it say that? Okay, let's read the verse again, verbatim, okay? See, this is why you're ashamed of the Bible. And if a man, and you're listening, sir, because you're recording this, I want you to know what you're promoting. And if a man beats his male or female servant with a rod, so that he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. He should be punished. Didn't say murder, just punished. Notwithstanding, if he remains alive, not walking around, he made that up. If he remains alive a day or two, just remains alive, he shall not be punished. No punishment. He shall not be punished. This is Bible that he wants to dodge. Don't worry, we will get to that, but this is reality, okay? Hold on, let me finish. I'm reading.
Capital crimes.
It says punishment. It does not say death.
Capital punishment.
It does not say capital. You're making that up. Now, it says, he shall not be punished, for he is his property. Do you, sir, as an African-American man recording this, think that if a man is taken as a slave by force and beaten by his master, a woman or a man, such a beating that he dies a day later, that master has no punishment because that's his property? You want to promote that? You want this man to represent Christianity?
You want to promote the old covenant which we're not under, do you?
Which he believes it's from God, from Jesus.
Muhammad believes it's from God.
Muhammad did not believe in this. No. No. He did not.
Why is it that Surah 5 verse 43?
Listen.
The Jews come to Muhammad. This is why you're in trouble now. Now, my view, which I got from scholars, is that in context this is talking about capital punishment.
Which scholars? See, now you can't name a scholar. Which scholar? Name him. Name him. Name him.
I will.
Live caught on camera. Name him. Name him. Name him, Dave. Name him. Name a scholar. I am friendly.
I have to look at
Name a scholar. He got it from a scholar, but doesn't remember the name of a scholar. Name the scholar, Dave. Name the scholar. You're making it up on the fly.
If you
name a scholar.
The name of the guy, I can look it up right after we're done.
Okay.
I can look it up
Send
right
it to
after we're
me.
done.
Now, what I'm going to ask you also is context.
Hang on. I didn't finish what I said.
Go ahead.
So, what I heard, because this isn't my area.
The Bible, not your area?
Old Testament.
Well, this is a part of the Bible you give out. No, you're talking about giving out. Don't you give this out? You don't give Bibles out? You don't tell people to read the Bible? Is the Old Testament not in the Bible? Yeah. No, we will get to this. Don't worry. We will get to this. We will. But you see, he can't answer the Bible. This is not his expertise. Answer the camera because you can't answer me.
I'm a philosopher.
Talk to me.
That's my job.
You're a philosopher.
Yes.
Of what?
That's what I'm trained.
Of what? Greek philosophy?
Philosophy.
Or the Bible? You're not an expert of the Bible?
I'm not a scholar of the Bible. No.
Okay.
You didn't know this?
I didn't know
My
this.
academic background is philosophy.
But you're a Christian apologist, right?
I have a PhD in philosophy.
You're Dr. Wood. I don't even know that.
I'm not a master of Old Testament text, right? So I see someone in a lecture, they talk about it, I can raise the point. Other than that, if you ask me a question, my inclination would be to go study it.
Gotcha.
Which is why.
So why don't you study this?
I'm asking you something about the stuff you're
Let's do this.
Let's do this. Just let me give the answer, and I'll give you the source afterwards. So, the context of that passage, talking about situations where judges will have to judge intent in cases for capital murder, capital punishment. And so, there's a question of intent. We do the same thing in the United States. And so, when it talks about punishment there, it's talking about capital punishment, sentencing someone to death. And what it's saying is, if he survives, then the presumption will be that you didn't intend to kill him. Even if you beat him, it's a brutal beating. But we have that in the United States. If you beat someone brutally, and he survives, or even if he dies right there. We even have it if you beat someone to death. It's a question of intent, right? Were you intending to kill him, or were you intending to beat this guy up? Those are two different things. The position of the Bible is, if you're going to sentence someone to death, then you make sure his intent was to do whatever you're sentencing him to death for. That's all I'm saying.
Now hold on. Now watch him throw scholars under the bus. Watch him throw scholars under the bus, okay? Look, MacArthur Study Bible. Hold on. We will. You see?
He said 10 minutes. He said the limit is 10 minutes.
But you haven't answered. All right. Now, I'm gonna read to you from your study Bible. From the study Bible, let's see you. Punishment of slaves was considered the right of the owner. Are you listening, sir? Recording? See, now you don't want to let me speak. I let you speak. Let me speak now. I will answer it. Now, punishment of slaves was considered the right of the owner. It was the right of the owner to punish your slave, and did not allow for violence. Judges would appropriate, if he died a few days, evidence that owner No punishment would be handed out because the loss of the slave was a punishment. So he won't let me speak. He won't let me speak. Because he knows. He knows he's going to throw his own study Bible now. All right, go ahead. Ask your question.
Are we good now?
Yeah.
We're going here?
We're going here.
Okay.
I told you we'd go there.
Keep in mind.
Go ahead.
This could have been so calm.
I am calm.
I'm trying to.
If you could answer and not make up parts of the verses and make up scholars that don't exist, right? Go ahead. See, look at him. Look at him.
Before you,
no.
forgetting something does not mean you're lying.
Okay,
like
sure.
If you forgot the name of the scholar,
you're going to bring me the scholar that says that the person would be punished, just not capital punishment.
There's a famous lecture.
By who?
I'm going to get it for you.
All right. Go ahead. Ask your question. Ask your question, bro. Ask your question now. You see how I'm answering? No dawah dodges here. I'm not going to jump like he did.
For 40 minutes.
Yeah. And it was a question and answer for 40 minutes. This isn't your time.
Science and Islam. Keep in mind, I'm trying to set a good example for the people watching. You know there are people who just want hostility?
I don't want that.
They just want anger and hostility? When you're sitting there and you're getting questions...
I invited you to dinner at my house and then you guys went and made videos calling me fibbing Uthman and stuff. Who are you talking about?
We were leaving. We were leaving, right?
I know, but afterwards, Sam and them were making videos calling me names that they wouldn't call my face, right?
We went
Go
like
ahead.
30 or 40. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Again.
Mubaraka, give me some water.
There's a lot of people who want nothing but
water.
anger and hostility. I would like...
We're going to be calm. Go ahead.
Nice, calm,
All right, go
set
ahead.
a good example.
Ask your question, bro.
All right. Basically these.
Go
We
ahead.
can go through all these depending on how
Whichever one you want, Dave.
All right, so this is
Just
on...
1 second, I gotta
you believe in this because you're handing it out, right? Scientific miracles of the Quran. All right, so this one gives 10. I know there are more.
Let me answer your question. You just asked a question, right?
Okay.
Okay.
جاء الحديث بغربة الإسلام فيبكي المحب لغربة الأحباب فالله يحمينا ويحفظ ديننا من شر كل معاند سباب